What's up, everyone? And today I'm bringing a deck profile on my Madolches. Now, Madolche is a very interesting deck profile considering it literally revolves around sweets. And it's actually a deck that, pops up in competitive play every so often. Now, before we get into the video, I just want to remind you to subscribe to the channel. More than 90% of the people watching this video are not subscribed. So let's fix that by smashing that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. First, I run the 3 Madolche Madolche. I think I pronounced that right. Madolche, if this card is normal or flip summoned, you're not going to be flip summoning it, but you will be normal summoning it. You can add 1 Madolche monster from your deck to your hand. So when it's normal summoned, it's a Rhoda for your Madolche monsters. It also has the additional effect: if this card in your possession is destroyed by opponent's card and sent to the graveyard, shuffle this card into the deck. Next, I run 3 Angeli. Angeli is essentially an extra copy of any Madolche monster because you contribute it to special summon a Madolche monster from your deck. So let's say you want Hoot Cake, you distribute it to bring out Hoot Cake. If you want it for Petting Sewer, Messin Gelato, doesn't really matter. It's an extra copy of any Madolche monster. Next, I run 3 Madolche Petting Sewer. Now, Petting Sewer, when you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from the hand. Or if you have no monsters in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from the hand. And if you do, like if this card is special summon from the hand, you can special summon a Madolche monster from your deck. Reduce this level by 1, so I can turn your level 5 Pudding Cess into a level 4, which is what you want. Now, the effect of Pudding Cess doesn't really matter too much, because you mainly want to go into the Madolche Pudding Cess Chocolate a la mode. Next, I run the 3 Hoot Cake. Now with Hoot Cake, you can target 1 monster in your graveyard, banish it, and if you do, special summon 1 Madolche monster from your deck, except Hoot Cake. So all you just gotta do is banish 1 monster in your graveyard, you special summon any Madolche except for Hoot Cake. Like for example, Messin Gelato. Now Messin Gelato, whenever it is special summon, you can add a Madolche spell trap from your deck to your hand. Now the one cool thing about Messin Gelato is that it is not a once per turn. So let's say you have both Angeli and Hoot Cake on the field. You can use both their effects to get Messin Gelato out to the field, and you can use this effect twice. So you can use it as many times as you can bring it out. Also run 3 Artifact Lantia for hand traps, as well as 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Next, moving on to the spells, I run the 3 Madolche Salon. Madolche Salon is essentially a double summon for your Madolche monsters, and it's got another effect. If a Madolche monster you control or is in your graveyard is added to your hand or shuffled into your main deck, you can set 1 Madolche spell trap directly from your deck to your field. Next, I run the 2 Madolche Chateau. Now, Chateau, when it is activated, you can shuffle all Madolche monsters from your grave into the deck. However, it has the additional effect is when a Madolche monster or monsters would be shuffled back into the deck, you can add them to your hand instead. I also run the 1 Madolche Ticket. So when a Madolche monster is added to your hand or deck by effect of Madolche monster, you can essentially, instead of like adding it, you can special summon it. So it's a good way to get out extra Madolche monsters. I also run 2 Foolish Burial Goods, mainly for the Madolche Promenade. I also run 3 Pot of Prosperity for draw power, because you do have a few cards in your extra deck that you probably won't be going into. So why not turn it on to Search Power, or I guess like Excavate Power. Also run the 1 Double or Nothing, because most of the Madolches are level 4s, so going into rank 4s is very easy. And if you're going second, this will just finish it right off the bat. Next, I run the 2 Madolche Promenade. You target 1 face-up card your opponent controls and 1 Madolche monster you control. Negate the effects of that opponent's card until the end of this turn, and if you do, return your monster to the hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard to target 1 Madolche XYZ monster you control, attach 1 Madolche monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard to it as material. Next, I run the 1 Madolche Knights. If you control no Madolche monsters in your graveyard, you can negate any monster effect. And I also run the 3 Infinite Impermanence, which everyone knows what an Infinite Impermanence does. It's an Omni-Negate. Well, not exactly an Omni-Negate, it's a Monster Negate. Moving on to the extra deck. First, I run the 3 Madolche Teacher Glass Souffle. Man, I struggle at pronouncing things. Quick effect, you can detach 1 card from this card, or 1 material from this card, then target 1 Madolche monster. It's unaffected by your opponent's effects, or by your opponent's monster effects. if a Madolche card is in your graveyard and this card is on the field, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, then target one Madolche monster on the field. This turn, left face-up monster is unaffected by monster effects except its own, and if a Madolche card is sent to your graveyard while this card is on the field, you can shuffle up to 2 cards from your graveyard into the deck. So it's a little bit of recursion, and that's mainly what the Madolches do, is that they return the monsters from the grave back into either the deck or the hand. So it's got a lot of recursion. Now next, I run the 2 Madolche Princess Chocolate Allen mode. You can also XYZ summon this card by using a rank 4 or lower Madolche XYZ monster control. Once returned, you can target a Madolche card in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck while this card has Madolche Princess as XYZ material. When a Madolche card is in the graveyard is shuffled into the main deck, you can detach one material from this card, special summon that monster from your deck, special summon one Madolche monster from your deck in attack or face down defense position. So instead of basically, if you have Princess as material, you get to special summon a Madolche card from your grave. Madolche monster from your deck. Next, I run 3 Madolche Queen Tiramisu. Tiramisu, once per turn, you get to detach one XYZ material from this card, then target up to 2 Madolche cards in your graveyard. Shuffle cards your opponent controls into the deck up to the number of Madolche cards return. So Queen Tiramisu is more like the going second Madolche card option, while Glass Souffle and Princess are the going first options. Now I run the 1 Abyss Dweller as well, because it's just a good generic rank 4 monster. As well as Utopia and Utopia Double for the double or nothing play. Moving on to the links. I run 2 Madolche Fresh Sistart. Sistart essentially makes your Madolche spell traps unaffected by player's card effects. So it's a protection for your field spell, Salon. You don't really go quite into it as much. I also run the 1 Apollosa, and I think I also ran an access code. I don't know where I have it at the current second. But yeah, I'd also run an access code. Well, that's all for my Madolche deck profile. Let me know, what do you think? Do you think Madolche is a pretty cool deck? Do you think it has meta potential? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye.